Good afternoon. I'm Monisa Klein here at the GBTA broadcast studio, and joining me today is a longtime industry friend and colleague, Charlie Sultan, who is the president of Concur Travel SAP.
Yeah, thanks, Monisa. I appreciate you having me here.
It's great to have you and good to see you
see
again.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, so you're surviving this heat?
We're staying inside the air conditioning, right? So all is good.
That's right. It's extreme, one extreme to the other. You go outside, you're hot. You come inside, you're freezing cold.
I like it in here.
So, speaking of extremes, I mean, lots going on in the travel industry.
Always.
We were just commiserating on the old days and talking about various topics and change and disruption and all that. So, when you think about how the travel industry might continue to evolve, what do you think might be ahead in the next 3 to 5 years? What are you looking at ahead?
You know, I think anytime you want to look ahead, you need to look back a little bit,
Yep.
and it's amazing. Concur started 30 years ago, and we've had to continue to innovate. We added, started with expense, added travel, and business travel keeps changing. We need to keep changing.
Right.
And so it's really, I think, as I start looking forward to the environment, travel just continues to be massively important. And we saw that coming out of the pandemic, just what an imperative it was for business travel. The resiliency that the industry has shown, but we just did a recent study. 90% of the business travelers said that they see travel as the biggest, as a very important component to their success going forward. So travel continues to remain important. So I think you will see that. I think you will continue to see innovations in technology, continue to increase productivity. That's really a lot of what we're working on as well. We envision this world where travel and expenses can practically manage themselves.
Yeah.
And so I think you will continue to just see greater collaboration between the industry players. You'll continue to see accelerating technology to make things as productive and as easy for the travelers and the travel managers as possible.
Yep, for sure. So we've seen online booking tools acquiring TMCs or the other way, right? TMCs acquiring online booking tools.
Yeah.
What is your take on that, and what are you guys looking at? What's Concur's position on this?
I think for us, we work with over 700 TMCs and partners. For us, we believe that an ecosystem where the travel manager and the travelers can have lots of different choices is really the only way to go. It's a very limiting ecosystem to just be with one solution that locks you into one particular partner and one particular set. And so being able to plug in a different duty of care provider, a different reporting provider, a different, whatever it happens to be that serves your bespoke needs is critical. For us, we are a global tool. We operate in so many different geographies, trying to solve needs of companies of all different sizes. And so for us, it just makes a lot more sense to be able to work with an open partner system that really allows customers to tailor and customize their solutions.
Yeah, well, it's an exciting time because you're actually seeing the fruition of all the groundwork that you guys have laid, right?
Yeah, it's great. We're on the precipice now of relaunching a lot of the Concur Travel experience. So we will have not just a new UX, but you'll have the same thing in mobile as in desktop. You'll be able to have different ways to filter and sort for sustainability attributes. You'll have NDC content. You'll have greater images. You'll have the ability to filter for electric vehicles or hybrid vehicles. And so there's just so much cool stuff coming for our customers that will also really help. And our goal really is to create a world where travel and expenses practically manage themselves, and we're continuing down that evolution.
Right. Well, which leads me to my next question. What's the value of integrating, the travel and the expense platform, and what are people missing out on if they're not?
If they're not, they don't know what they don't know.
Right.
And so it is really imperative that the more that you want to do to add productivity, right? We did a study last year, and one of the biggest things that came out was that people needed to figure out how to enhance their productivity. Well, having an integrated travel and expense system means that you have, one contract to negotiate. You have one system that your travelers need to get used to. And really the big value is that the data moves itself from one place to the next without having all these complicated third parties or whatever that you need to coordinate between. So if you have an integrated travel and expense, you can actually see where you're spending. That same study that I was quoting, one of the biggest pain points that people were talking about was in the data, was in seeing the ROI, was in seeing their sustainability, was in being able to really manage the whole piece of it. And having an integrated travel and expense system allows you to do that. And even beyond, our travel and expense system isn't just our own travel and expense. We bring in bookings that are made through TripLink directly on a supplier side. We make bookings that are coming in through Amazon on the spend side. And so we really allow the travel managers and the procurement professionals, the finance teams, to be able to see everything in one place and be able to compare it and be able to maximize their programs.
So you touched on finance, the finance team. So, you know, in the old days, it was always cost, right? Price, price, price. Sustainability is a huge top of mind focus for all the people that are here, right, at this convention. So is it more about cost? Is it sustainability? Or can you do both?
You know, it's really tricky, to be honest. I think for years you would have that conversation, and I would talk to travel managers, and they, mostly in Europe is where it's sort of the conversation started, and they would tell you that it was important, and then you'd say, oh, so are you going to let travelers book an EV that's $60 more a day? And they would say, well, we're going to need to figure that out. Over the last couple of years, as you talk to them and said, okay, are you going to let your travelers do those things? Now that they've all made big goals on sustainability, they have to publish it, part of their financials, more and more of them are willing to pay more for it because they recognize that it is imperative to the future. And so I think you're seeing that. Over time, I think that equilibrium starts mixing, and it's not all about added costs. So I think you will be able to have better sustainability and costs that are manageable.
Balance. It's about balancing.
I think so, but
right?
Again, you need to be able to see and measure and benchmark, and so having a complete view of what is your footprint, where are you doing it beyond just the travel, right? So if you're just booking travel and looking for your sustainability there, maybe you're not seeing your Ubers, or you're not seeing some of the things that are not necessarily booked through those traditional means. So being able to have access to all of the expense data also helps to be able to put that picture together.
Wow. Well, Charlie, thank you so much for sharing and spending a few minutes with me today. I really appreciate it. It sounds like good things are ahead for you guys.
Lots of exciting stuff, but I really appreciate you making the time and you inviting us to come speak with you. Thanks a lot. Good to see you.
Monisa Klein and Charlie Sultan here at the GBTA Broadcast Studio.